Hello everyone and welcome to OGN's Business Diary. So today I'm sharing with you a live panel with some board of directors at an event called Hustle Fest. It's a business festival for entrepreneurs, startups, and anybody who's already in business or trying or thinking about starting a business.
I think with that one and what I've been doing in terms of the Black-owned hacking events, which started about 3 years ago now, is always remembering why I started the events. So one was empowering the community financially. So I think that is something that has never changed throughout the events, and that is the main focus. You can go, super corporate, and then it shifts in that sense. But what we do in terms of who the event is for, yes, it's for Black-owned businesses, but in terms of the demographic that attend, of course, there's a lot of Black people that do attend the event, but you have white people, Asian people, and everything in between. So it's always been a welcoming and inclusive space. In all senses, so it kind of retains that. I think, yes, there are, threats of, things not being sustainable, but I think what I mentioned to you earlier in terms of keeping that balance and that triangle, of course you can go super corporate and then you kind of isolate those grassroots and independent businesses to kind of afford to then enter that market. But what we've tried to do is kind of create that balance between, yes, having those businesses that are tried and tested and are performing at that high level, but still bringing through those brand new businesses that give them opportunities to kind of partake in the event. So I think it is a very tricky balance to get right, but we try to do as much as possible to make sure that certain communities aren't excluded and it still feels like a welcoming environment, Black people and non-Black people.
I just wanted to say that with Coco, it was started by the community. So literally, I designed a front cover of a magazine, put it on a Facebook page, and it just went crazy. It was an audience that hadn't been tapped into, who were like, I want that. And this audience, I'm finding, is not just Black parents with Black children. It's an audience that is so intrigued about our culture. And I would have to say that the community started my business, but in order for it to grow, I've had to go to America. And the reason being is because there's a bigger audience and there is a bit more expertise into reaching not only my community but others. So when that success happens over there, it will have a knock-on effect over here. So, for instance, as I said, the community started my business, but to get up the ladder here, I've had to have people that could also look like me, get me through the doors, but sometimes that weren't happening. And I don't know if anyone else has experienced that as well. So what I've had to do is go to the US, and there's a lot of people that had to have done that, from actors. I listened to London Hughes, she's a comedian, and how it was hard over here, but when she went to America, it was just whoa. Because it's a different audience. It's all about audience. The type of money we have in our community as well is different to the money they have. For instance, when I went to Atlanta 2 weeks ago, I was just blown away at the businesses of people that looked like me that were thriving. And it wasn't, okay, they're doing well for a time and then they've had to shut down and then they do well. It was, they're making some money and they are, living a life that I'm like, wow. But it's a whole different audience and ball game. So sometimes you might have to step out of London and go to the US just to kind of get an idea and feel of how to get it right a little bit. And everyone's different. But yeah, that's my quick advice.
Can I give a completely different perspective on that?
We have to bring it to an end, but if you can,
If you have to have a conversation after, just in terms of, you're going to be a Black-owned business regardless. So I'm someone who is very aesthetically and obviously Black. So the work I do, I am a Black-owned business. But because I work with corporates, I'm very clear on how I work with corporates. So for example, if we think about creating change, the most substantial and sustainable change you can make is if you have allies on board. And your best allies, i.e. your non-Black professionals, are those who aren't burning out, because then they can put out the fire in someone else's house. when their own houses are on fire. So by doing the work you do, you can still have an inclusive audience and still be for the community. Because if not for, and I think if we're really candid, actually some of our greatest allies have, for me in particular and other black professionals, have been white males in senior positions. And if they're not burnt out in their own right, then they can see the forest for the trees and be able to have the capacity to help others. So you're going to be a black-owned business regardless. It is who you are. But in terms of helping your community, you don't have to cut off your potential expansion, both reach and economically and financially, just because you're thinking of doing it in one
The
avenue.
event was
There are
created
so many
by
ways
Jane
of doing
and Jay
it.
of Hustle+Heels.
Guys, thank you so
In the
much
panel
for sharing
are
this insight.
J.Mclarty of Black Eats London, Serlina of Coco Magazine, Cherelle of KitsCH Noir, S.Jones of the Fireproof career, and L.Mhlanga of the Trades Club. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, comment, and watch out for other videos in the future. Take care. God bless. Bye.